You ever sit in a dentist chair, they ask you to bite down, and you just wonder what on earth they're actually seeing? Well, today we're diving into some really cool technology that's making the invisible visible. And honestly, it's changing the whole game of dentistry. So let's get into it. I mean, it sounds like a simple question, doesn't it? You bite down, they look. But what are they really looking for? They're trying to analyze how all of your teeth connect, this super complex relationship they call occlusion. And more importantly, what tools do they have to see the invisible forces happening in there? Well, for the longest time, the answer has been surprisingly low-tech. Until now. For decades, decades, the main tool has been a little piece of what's called articulating paper. You know, that blue or red paper, you bite down, it leaves a little ink mark on the high spots, and that's kind of it. But that tiny ink smudge is supposed to help decipher this massively complex system of forces all across your mouth. It's kind of like trying to map out an entire mountain range using just a single crayon. And this really gets us to the core of the issue. Our bites are just way more complex than they look. It's not just about teeth touching. No, it's this dynamic, intricate system with so much happening under the surface that can impact everything from how your teeth wear down to jaw pain. This quote from Dr. White just captures the frustration perfectly, doesn't it? You've got clinicians trying to analyze this incredibly complex system, but the tool they've been using is, as he puts it, overly simplistic. It's this major disconnect that's been a headache for both doctors and patients for a long, long time. So how do you close that gap between the complexity of the bite and the need for clarity? Well, you need a totally new tool, one that can finally make all that invisible stuff visible. And the solution is something we can think of as an occlusal heat map. And that brings us to the Occlusogram. So what is it? Put simply, it's a digital tool that takes a full 3D scan of your mouth and translates all those complicated bite forces into a simple, easy-to-read color map. What's so amazing about it is that it doesn't just show where your teeth touch, but the actual distance between them across your entire bite. Yeah, just think of it like a weather radar, but for your mouth. It instantly shows you the hot spots, those areas with the highest pressure and contact. All of a sudden, what used to be invisible and kind of hard to explain becomes totally clear, not just for the doctor, but for the patient too. And the versatility of this tool is it's incredible. It's being used for literally everything, from planning out orthodontic treatments to making sure a new crown fits absolutely perfectly. But, maybe its most important job is just making the conversation between dentists and their patients clearer and more of a team effort. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work in the real world? How do we go from a patient sitting in a chair to this incredibly detailed digital map on a screen? Let's walk through it. It's actually a pretty slick and simple process. First, they do a complete 3D scan of your mouth with an intraoral scanner, like the iTero. Then the dentist just taps a button and boom, the occlusogram view pops up. And just like that, the color map appears, ready to be analyzed. So how do you read this thing? It's really intuitive. The cool colors, the blues and greens, show there's more space, more clearance. But the hot colors, especially red, that means full contact. Those red zones are the ones to watch, because they can point to too much force, which could lead to problems down the road like worn down teeth or even fractures. But the real magic of this technology might not just be in the data it gives us. It's in how it's changing the actual conversation between doctors and patients. It's creating this whole new shared language for understanding what's going on in our mouths. Dr. White's words here, they really hit home. For a modern dentist who's all about precision, the old way just doesn't cut it anymore. They need tools that can actually match the complexity of what they're doing, and tools that let them show, not just tell, their patients what they found. And you can see the benefits here really go both ways. For the clinician, yeah, it means being more precise, more efficient. But for the patient, wow, it's a complete game changer. It takes you from just passively listening to information to being an active partner in your own healthcare. And this right here, this might be the most powerful part of the entire thing. Dentists have told stories about patients who come in after a new filling or crown and say, it just feels high. In the past, that was just a feeling, right? It was subjective. Now the dentist can pull up the heat map and point right to that red spot and say, you see this? You're right. It validates what the patient is feeling. It proves they weren't just making it up. So, as you can see, this technology is way more than just a small improvement. It's really a glimpse into the future of dentistry, and it signals a pretty big shift in that whole doctor-patient relationship. We are moving away from a model where the doctor has to explain an abstract problem to a new reality where you and your doctor are both looking at the same data, the same visual guide, together. It's a shift from guesswork to a shared understanding. And that leaves us with a pretty deep final question to think about. What really changes when you can finally see exactly what your doctor sees? The occlusogram suggests that this shift from the abstract to the visual, well, it changes everything. It empowers all of us to take a much more active role in our own health, and that's a future worth smiling about.